Hello everyone, in today's electric guitar lesson I'm going to teach you how to play Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones. There's a full free PDF that you can download from the first link in the description. This will take you to my website where you can download the 3-page document, which is 2 pages of tabs and a chord sheet to accompany this lesson. Completely for free, no sign-ups, no monkey business. Head over there and check that out. If you need a little bit more help, I'd consider checking out the second link in the description, which is the Kirklees Guitar School Academy, which launches on November the 13th, 2025. In that, you'll get a detailed technical focus lesson where we break down some of these pedal tones that we're going to talk about today, a playthrough, and a backing track that you can download for this song. Right, let's get into it. So, let me give you the chords first. We've got 5 chords that we're going to work off today. We've got E minor, D, A, B7, don't freak out, don't run away. You're going to have to learn it at some point, and today's the day. And then we're going to finish with a G. So I've taught this lesson before. You'll see probably about 12 months ago. I taught this lesson before with a capo on the 2nd fret, more kind of aimed at beginners. Now I've recently kind of rediscovered this song and thought, do you know what? I'm going to have another go because I feel like for anybody that's just that little bit further down the rabbit hole, without the capo, there's some really cool concepts and some cool ideas that we can mess around with. So this is my offering today. If you find this lesson a little bit difficult, check out my sort of easier beginners version, which I'll link in the description. Now, there's 3 parts to this song I'm going to take you through today. This is the first bit you can all be working on while I finish waffling. There's 3 parts. I'm going to start on the verse stroke main riff, just to make sure you all get this bit down. We're then going to talk about the chorus with the chords, and then I'm going to show you that ornate kind of intro. So, this is what we're going for to start with. So we've got this kind of like pedal tone, open high E string, sort of really taking that sitar kind of Indian influence. So let's have a look at the first couple of notes. So throughout you can see we've got the high E strings ringing out. So we're going to be picking both the B and the high E strings with one short, sharp downstroke with the plectrum. Now, you'll see me playing the 5th fret, 7th fret, 8th fret. That's E, F sharp, and G. I just had to second guess myself for a second. And we're going to play those first 3 notes. Now, I'm not going to get too bent out of shape about what fingers you're using for this riff, as long as you're not using one, okay? Sometimes you'll see me do this. Sometimes you'll see me do this. It's entirely up to you, but I don't want this. Don't want this because there's too much margin for error, okay? And also you can hear that noise, okay? So we've got 5th fret, 7th fret, 8th fret. We're then going to move up position into the 10th fret and then walk back down where we started. So these 2 bars sound like this. Pause the video and get that on D fingers for me, please. I'm then going to introduce the rest of the bar. So we've done this so far. We're then over here, look, and can you see how we're going back down to that 5th fret, but we're actually going between this E and this D sharp here. We're introducing a little bit of what we call harmonic minor. It's gives you that sort of Middle Eastern almost like a bit classical kind of vibe. It's really cool. But we're going to create from here that 5th fret. When I go down to the 4, you've got a D sharp or an E flat, whichever way you look at it, and an E playing at the same time. It's supposed to be dissonant, okay? If you're playing it and you think it sounds gross, by the time you move up to that 5th fret, all should be right in the world again. Da, 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 the whole thing. Pause the video and get that on D fingers. Now, I appreciate there's probably some people in the comments getting really, really angry with me over this. I've mixed a couple of the guitar parts together because there's a lot of layers in this song. And if I was tasked with playing this song in a band, in a live context, this is how I'd play it. No capo, getting that big B7, And I got the Jazzmaster out today. I'm using a sort of Fender, a clean Fender amp with plenty of reverb. And it's giving me that sort of almost like surf kind of Tarantino kind of, let me see. You know, it's got that. You know, you think Ventures and Safaris and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of what I'm going for, and this is how I'd play it. So for the verses, you're essentially going to play that twice. It looks like that. Hello. So for the verse of the song, notice there's this here. This is called a repeat marker. Now, a repeat marker is telling us that eventually, at some point in the song, we're going to have to come to this, back to this point. So if you've got a highlighter, I'd highlight this funny looking bracket here. It's called a repeat marker because we're going to come back here. These two lines are exactly the same. We're just going to play the riff twice before moving on to what I've called the chorus, which is this bit here. There's various. I'm calling it the chorus, but it changes every time. I'm trying to think of the lyric off the top of my head, but it's escaping me. It's basically where the band opens up. If they're not playing, they're playing this. So I'm going to play an E minor chord. All four of these strokes in this bar are with downstrokes. That's what the funny little bridge looking thing underneath where it says E minor. That's what that means. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this E minor chord down here, and I'm going to strike just the lower strings. And I want to make my guitar bark a little bit. I'm then going to do a full stroke of the E minor. Now these two are quite close together. I'm then going to quickly change to a D chord, and I'm going to do two downstrokes there. You'll see this on the playthrough that I do it, and I'm really kind of trying to lean into that sort of, there's a push here. We're then going to go to a G chord, and we're going to do a down, but similar kind of idea where we're hitting the lower portion of the chord, and then I'm going to do a big upstroke like that. On the playthrough, you might see me doing this, which is like a bit of a sort of cheat, getting your fingers there quicker, where try and do it properly for me. That's a bad habit that shouldn't have crept in. So you've got downstroke on the chunky end, and then a full stroke with an upstroke, and you can get your rock, pull out your rock star moves there. And then we're going to do a downstroke with a D. Now, you might be tempted to put an additional D stroke here. I can't hear it on the record, but I won't be mad at you if you put it in. If you watch me under the microscope playing at a gig and having way too much fun, I'd probably put that stroke in as well. But Reddit will get cross with me. So just one D there, or at least try to. So these two bars sound like this. Can you hear I almost hit this D a little bit prematurely? G, G, D. Two bars. I'm then going to go to E minor for two bars, and I'm going to go down, 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 up. Down, 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 up. And can you hear how, like, I'm starting with that lesser stroke again, that sort of chunkier. Try not to do down, down, up here. It's a very kind of particular rhythm. That's what we're going for. All four bars. The chorus actually continues on a little bit further into my fourth slide, where the first two bars are the same. And we're going to keep the same pattern like we would with the E minor, but we're actually going to play an A chord, B7. Really hang on with this B7, really be patient with it, because once you've got it, it unlocks so many songs for you, and a lot of people don't like this chord because it's a bit of a pig to get. If you're studying with me in person at the minute, this week's all about B7, and probably the next couple of weeks as well. It's well worth your time. It sounds ace. when you put all your fingers in the right places, you'll all be telling me off in my lessons this week. Yeah? But notice how we don't have the lesser stroke at the beginning. In the previous slide, we've got a lesser stroke that starts the E minors. I can't hear them playing it on the record, so I've put a full stroke. Let me try both of those back to back for you. On to the next bit. You might have got a buy one get one free stroke in there, but that's okay. We're all friends here. Remember, if you do want to get a bit more of a kind of better look at me playing the tabs as it's happening while they're going on screen, do check out the Academy. It's a 14-day free trial, and you can go in there and you can really watch me play it up close and personal with the tabs scrolling underneath. It's a great resource, and I advise you all to go and check that out when it comes out on the 13th of November. I think it's a couple of days from now it comes out. I'm really excited. Right, so notice how we hit this. We hit another repeat marker. And I don't know if you remember me sort of peeking over the top. Over the top, he says. Over here. There we go. We're going to go back to this repeat marker. So that should all fit on the... it's basically the bottom of the first page and the top of the second page. And I want you to play between those markers 5 times for me, please. It's basically 1 or 2 bits that's just batting backwards and forwards. So then we get into the outro. Now, the outro is pretty much just the same, he says, when I find it. The ending. We'll talk about the ending, then we'll talk about the intro, and you'll see why in a second. So after you've done the verse and the chorus 5 times, you're then going to go to the ending. Now, the ending, it's kind of in the way that the Rolling Stones did a lot of the kind of earlier, and as they were starting to get a little bit more experimental stuff, they'd often sort of vamp on one section. Now, what does a vamp mean? A vamp means that we're sitting on either one chord or a collection of chords, and the band are just jamming on it and kind of seeing what comes out. Now, you'll hear some guitars in the background do some more kind of ornate things, but I decided to just, if I was playing this in a band, I'd just stick to the riff, and I'd be letting everybody else have their moment with it, because I felt like trying to tab it out, it was a lot of extra headache for not necessarily much more results. And if you're inclined that way, I'd plot out the E minor scale on the B string, and I'd start kicking around and see if you can find some of those notes for yourself if it's really important to you. If you're just here for a good time, I'm just going to play this just like I would in a band, and we're just going to go around the verse until the track fades out, and you'll see that on the playthrough. And we're just going to keep doing that. I've put 10 times. It's more like 10 and a splodge. It's just over 10. It's not 10, but it's not 11 either. So I thought round numbers for good. So that's the end of the song. So we need to talk about the intro of the song now, because the intro has this... this kind of like ornate thing that I'm going to show you. Now, it's actually a couple of guitars blended together playing at different points, so it'd be really hard to play exactly what they're doing, but this is this is how I do it in a band context. So, where are we? Let's have a look. Yeah. Okay. First 2 bars, nothing to write home about. This is the very, very first 3 bars at the very top of the PDF. So you've got the riff here, but we're going to pedal tone. So rather than playing, we're actually going to pick the note with a downstroke on the B string, and then we're going to pick the open high E. This is called a pedal tone. The technical focused lesson for this that's on the Academy will take you through these pedal tones a little bit more. And if you want to learn a little bit more about how they work and some examples, I've got a great little picking exercise for you to try. So we've got a downstroke on the 5, open high E, up to the 7th fret, 8th, 10th. So instead of going, we're breaking it up. Just try that first bar for me. And then we're going to walk back down. Now notice we get to that 5th fret and then there's no more because you want to let it breathe a little bit, okay? I want you to get in the habit of doing this. Notice how that high E string's still ringing out from the previous time that I plucked it. Then we're going to go 5, 4, 5, 7. Now this line that connects bar 3 and bar 4 is called a tie. What that means is we're going to hang on to this 7 for quite some time. We're going to use that as an opportunity to move to the next slide. And we've got some crotchet triplets. We're going to hammer on between the 2nd, 4th and 5th. Now I'm using index, ring and pinky there. While holding on to that 5th fret, I'm going to press the 2nd fret of the high E string. It's a bit of a stretch, but I can hear them. I can hear both those notes sounding at the same time. I'm then going to pull off all in one. See, I'm only picking it once. And then I'm going to pick that. Neck pickup's probably a better choice for this. You'll see I actually change it in the playthrough. With these big single coil pickups, I need as much help as I can getting some sustain. So we've got from that point, you'll hear the drums come in. And we're just going to hit 2 big fat E minor chords. And from that point, I see a red door and it goes into that bit. That's what the whole intro looks like. That's the first 3 lines at the top of the PDF. Drums 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, E. And from that we go into a verse. I hope you understand why I did it backwards now, okay? Because it takes all the elements, the intro takes all the elements that we learnt in the verse and the chorus and kind of mixes them all together. And I'd much rather that you spent the early kind of enthusiasm working on the main 2 bits for the song that you're going to be playing rather than getting bogged down in that bit at the beginning. If you're really struggling with that bit at the beginning, perhaps consider checking out my other lesson that I did on this with the capo, because it all kind of fits around a D minor shape and there's not as many stretches in it. But in teaching the lesson both ways now, hopefully you're in a position where either you can play it one of 2 ways that you're choosing, or if there's 2 of you that are studying the song, you can both play the same song but playing the same chords but in different places on the neck, kind of like what me and George would do in a band scenario. So how did you find that? Let me know. I'm kind of getting ready for some new songs now. If you've got some ideas for some songs that you'd like me to cover, let me know in the description, in the comments down below. And make sure you go check out the Kirklees Guitar School Academy. There's loads of cool stuff in there. It'll be really, really, it'll be a game changer for your guitar playing. Go check it out. I'll see you next week, guys. Thank you so much.